stick my head out of the water.
And this was your hometown where they were shooting at you?
Yeah. Yeah, at home. Yeah.
She's glad. She's listening.
She's listening.
Yeah.
Listening to me.
She's listening. So nice. And it's a gorgeous day.
Yeah.
Not humid.
Marie retired. She was a director in a hospital in the recovery and intensive care and cardiac.
The house?
Well, she was at All Saints 18 years with Pat Wisnant and Sean Bourne. And then she was 8 years at Arlington Memorial. And when I showed up, then she started thinking, it's probably time to retire.
Nice.
So she did. She was able to first, and I had to go another like 10 months so I could get my 20 years.
Yeah. That's really worked out so nicely.
Yes. Yes, we're thankful.
Yeah.
So now we can say every day is like Saturday,
Absolutely. You're still so young. That makes it so nice. And if you're already old, but this is still, you can still so young, they can still enjoy it. At 63.
Yes. I think I'm in my 90s, isn't it?
No, not quite. You're 82.
80, wow.
81. Yeah.
You look young.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
But you did still a lot after you were 60. Your John retired when he was 65. And after that, we had a lot of that work in Russia. So you still did a lot after you retired.
I remember you were talking about going to Russia. Now, I don't remember if it was Kazakhstan, but the automobile had problems with the radiator. And they thought you were like a genius.
He fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, we never had a car in Holland. So our first time we had a car was here in America. In Chicago, I had to learn to drive. But then, it was all so expensive, So John learned to fix all the cars. And at a certain time,
You learned to fix it here?
you learn to fix because to bring the car it was way too expensive. So you learn to fix it. We got that book, and you learn to fix the cars. And in the beginning, we didn't know anything about the car, and it was in Chicago, and the winter came, and you had a hard time starting the motor. We didn't have a garage either. And so the neighbor said, well, you need to put a blanket over this. But never told us that you take the blanket off. No, because everything was new to us. So next day, the car, you tried to start the car, and the car got on fire. There was a blanket. But I mean, we didn't know a thing about it. No, it's not stupid. It's just totally didn't know what a car was. And we only had bicycles. Wherever we went, it was a child in the back of the bicycle. All our 5 children, the eldest was having her little bike. You were having one child in front of the bike and in back of the bike, and I too. We had 5 kids, and Eva was the only one who had her own bicycle. And so we went. There's all 7 of us.
On 2 bikes.
No, 3 bikes. Eva had her own bike, yeah. But then coming to America, we had to learn. And for an American who kind of is born in his car, I mean, you grow up with it. The student in Chicago where John taught, one of the students said, I'll teach you. All he said was, but there's the pedal. there's the gas, and that's it. You just go and put your foot on the brake if you want to stop. And that was it. Yeah, for him it was all very simple. For us, just the difference in speed of a bicycle and a car, it's just scary.
Yeah, even to find you.
The pedal, to find the pedal. And so like in the Netherlands, you see 85-year-old ladies climb on the bike without any problem. I mean, they might be too stiff to walk, but they can get on that bicycle and keep their balance because they were born on that bike practically. But for us to have to learn to drive in Chicago, well, the Lord really was merciful because he had his angels watching over us, over those, the Kennedy Highway and over those highways with all the cars passing by you. And I had to get used to staying within the two lines.
Yeah, and you have first to get watched to that not every car has the same speed. Once uses so you keep no. It
was so scary for us to learn to drive, Jan.
Yeah.
Very scary, but we did. And
never had an accident.
No. Thanks to the guardian angels, but it really was amazing. We had to also learn, of course, how to the theory of it. And we're in Chicago, and John takes a U-turn because we're on the wrong road, and goes, and the police is there, and he said, you take a U-turn. You took a U-turn. Yes. And John said, of course I did. I took my turn. You take you know, he didn't know what the man was talking about. And the only ticket you ever had is that you had to get used to the fact that you had to realize that you cannot park it close to a fire hydrant. That's the only ticket you ever had.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we never had a ticket whatsoever. And the only ticket I ever had was because of four-way stop sign, and there is not a soul inside. So you stop and you go because, there happened to be a police behind the tree, and I had not come to a full stop.
Right.
And there you have to pay $150. But I talked to the judge, and she let me pay $75. I mean, because I said everybody else no one would have had a full minute stop, when there is no... And it's like, no, well, we did, but we learned, hey, very good.
You made a U-turn.
Yeah, I made my turn, John said. The whole U-turn, we didn't know. What else did you say? Yeah, I made a U-turn.
I turned.
Yeah, I know, I did. I made John.
But you can't do that. He said, I showed you I could.
Yeah, there's a job. I showed you I could. We didn't know about this sign that it said no U-turn. So it was
But the word can is used so often, so I didn't know how to use it.
No, I know.
You can't use it, you can't do it.
I know. That is funny. And what else? We needed a new casket. A casket is one of those tools that John really did all the repair after he learned all of it, but in the beginning he did not know. The first car we had was a very much a lemon. It was an old second-hand Rambler, and it had an how do you call it? Not a real good block, but it had a
Block?
Yeah, the block was some kind of metal that cracked or whatever. It was a bad car, and you were working on it, and so you needed a gasket. And so you come into the store and you say to the man, I need a gadget. And the man said, a gadget? I have about 1,000. What do you need? A gadget. So I said, a gadget. He invented a gasket. So we did make some mistakes, but you learn. And at a certain time, you have 4 cars when you have 5 children. They're all second-hand. And so, John, you were under those cars, fixing them and put a new everything, John did everything himself, except we never needed new transmission put in. So, but all the other things, he got his handbook and he studied it, and you did all the electricity in the house. You did everything yourself. John did everything himself. It's just wonderful. You were terrific.
Never burned my fingers.
No, you did everything very carefully too. You really were terrific. But okay, where are we? Oh, when we lived next to the mayor, the mayor did not belong in Muntendam. The mayor did not belong to any church. And my friend in school, who always knew everything, said, "You're living next to the mayor. Do you know that he will go straight to hell?" I said, "No, I didn't know that." I didn't know that. She said, "Yes, he will, because he drinks." So, well, I drink too. No, she said, he drinks alcohol. Oh. Well, I said, I know that my father speaks a lot with him, talks to him, so I'm sure he is going to be okay. No, she said, there is more that you don't know about the mayor. He likes women. He said, well, my father does that too. He loves his wife and his children. We all girls. No, you don't understand anything I'm saying, she told me. You are so stupid. And I thought, that's strange. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to see that the mayor gets to know God, because he is so nice. He always talks to me. I like for him to be in heaven with us later. So I made it a point that every time when I would go out of school, I would sing on the swing, "Jesus loves me, this I know," and some of those other hymns. Then the mayor will listen to it and he will be okay. So I would make it a point that when I came home from school, I would sing on the swing, because that was the time that the mayor always was feeding his chickens. Oh, yeah. They had chickens in the backyard. So, and I could tell he was listening, because he would always talk to me afterwards. So that was kind of my mission. And one day I had to stay after school. I had done one thing or the other. I forgot what it was, but I had to stay after school. But I didn't. I just went by the back of the teacher and ran out the back door of the school and went home. But the next day the teacher said, you were supposed to stay after school, and when I came in the classroom you were not there anymore. So now you stay today, and you stay even longer. Okay. I thought, that's bad, because then I missed my mission with the mayor. And so he locked the door behind him, because he would always go with the kids and see that they all were outside and had left. And so he locked the door, and I thought, that's bad, now I can't go, and I have to sing. So I looked at the window, and I thought, that is not too high. So I opened the window, jumped out, went through the back of the school into the gardens of the people, and went home, and went to my swing and sang to the neighbor. After a little while I heard somebody by the front door, and it was the teacher of the school. And he said, is Margaret home? And my father, who really, I've never known my father to lie, my father said, and he knew very well that I was home, well, yeah, well, why don't you come in and come to my study? Because my father could tell that the teacher had something on his mind. But my father never said, no, she is here. And I thought, I'm in big trouble. And I was. And so after the teacher had left, my father called me to his Margareta, I knew this time it was wrong, to his study. And he said, the teacher was here, and I had heard some very disturbing things. You were supposed to stay after school yesterday, but you left. And today you were supposed to stay, and you went through the window and left. And I'm really very upset, because that is very disobedient. Okay, and why did you leave? So, well, I have to sing for the neighbor, for the mayor. Why do you have to sing for him? So, well, Dad, maybe you don't know, but he is going to hell. That's what my friend Treintje tells me. Oh, my father said, and why is he going to hell? Well, he drinks. Well, I know that, my father said, but I already am talking with him about that, and he is responding very well. He doesn't want to become a drunkard. Okay. So, but there is something else you don't know, and that is, my father said, he likes women. Yes, my father said, so do I. I said, that's what I told my friends. You did? What did you tell? I said, well, you love Mom and you love us and you like women. And I could tell that my father realized I didn't know what I was talking about neither. But my friend did. And my friend's mother was the biggest gossiper in town. So he said, and you told Treintje that I like women? She, yeah, you do, don't you, Dad? Yes, I do, he said. So, but he said, I would not worry about the mayor going to hell. I would really kind of worry about your behavior. First of all, he said, there's no one decides where one is going after death, only God. So, no talk about anybody else going to hell. But there is a lot of talk about how you behave in your life. And so the behavior is not good. And no, but I still don't understand why you have to say, well, I have to sing for the neighbor. God loves him. Oh, this is my mission, Dad, because he is such a nice man. And I thought if I sing to him every day that God is love, he will then be okay. So my father said, but still, you have to obey before you. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So if you don't behave well in school, you stay after school no matter whatever your mission is. You better apologize to your teacher. And furthermore, my father said that already mobilization had started and the teacher had the 6th and the 5th and the 4th grade, all in one grade, and he could not keep any order. And my father said, you apologize, and then I would suggest you help your teacher instead of going against him. I didn't really go against him, but I can see that I was a big nuisance for him in the class and that he couldn't handle it. I didn't really do anything that was really bad, but I was not very cooperative in the class. So I apologized and I helped the teacher, and things went a lot better in the classroom. And I continued my mission with the mayor until the day of the war, and then the mayor had disappeared completely. And but they found he wasn't shocked. He also knew the threat that they would take my father. He came back and he stepped down as a mayor, and we got a mayor appointed by the German regime. Yeah, someone that would be in favor of the party.
And where did the mayor go?
Huh? Oh well, the mayor just was not anymore and didn't have any more function, and he just went on retirement or something. He was already an older man, but he had to step down because all city employees had to be appointed by the new government. That's what happened there. But that was in my mission. I was always very mission oriented. We had in our school, the Christian school, always one mission story every week. And the Dutch Reformed Church, but the school was of course Dutch Reformed, had missionaries in Indonesia. Indonesia was part of the Netherlands. And every week there was this mission story, and we would put a dime or a cent in that little box. There was always a little Indonesian man on top of that box, not a real, but a little doll or whatever. And if you put in the penny, it would knock and say thank you. It didn't say it, but it looked like it said thank you. It was very important. And they would have a mission story, and I remember that at one time they had a story about the cannibals in Borneo. Cannibals. Yeah. They ate. The story went that sometimes they took people, put them on the fire and ate them, kannibalen. And I thought how horrible. I was horrified by that story. And I thought if they know about God, that God loved them, and if they know about what Christ taught us, they would not eat people. And so I felt extremely called to become a missionary to Borneo, to the cannibals. And so I couldn't wait to go home that day and tell my father that I was called to be a missionary to Borneo. And so when I came home, knocked at his study, and I said, "Need to talk to you." My father said, "Cannot wait." I said, No, it's of great importance. Well, come in. Dad, the Lord calls me to become a missionary, to go to Borneo, to serve him and tell the people about God's love. So they want eat, Indonesia, Borneo. My father said, "Oh, that is good." And I told him about the story. And he said, "Well, let's do first things first. What about getting better grades in school? Because the Lord prefers a prepared mind. And the better you are prepared, the better you can work." Oh, I thought he would be in tears from emotion, and happiness. And there he talks about my grades. See, I felt very, very, all of a sudden, this whole euphoria of going to the mission field was gone by his remark about getting better grades. But he said, "I think it's a wonderful thing that you want to serve God, and so it's an important day in your life. By doing what you kneel down and ask God to bless you and give you guidance." And so we knelt down. For any very special occasion, my father would kneel down with you. And knelt down and I asked God to guide my life. Now, I never became a missionary to Borneo, but kind of my mission is with you, Jan. No, I never forget that because of my being really moved by the darkness in which many people have to live, like eating another person. I mean, how dark can the life be? And the light in which I was fortunate to live, to see that this is not what you do, and to know that there is a better way of living. And then I feel I was fortunate that I knew that. But so there are some of those memories. While I tell this, I also think about a story that my father told us when he was 17. He had been quite a troublemaker, and even in the family where the father taught the children, where you study Bible 2 hours a day, he still was often a tease for his brothers and sisters, loved practical jokes, were really not that much fun for somebody else, and but also by being confronted with Bible stories every day and the message of the Bible, he also felt that this was really not the right way to go through life. And on Saturdays, his father, who had a business, a drugstore, he had to go around the island on which they lived in about 15-kilometer radius and deliver things to people's houses that they had ordered and asked for a new order for the next week. And so, while he was on one of his trips, he thought he needed to change his life and his behavior. He really felt that he wanted to serve God in his life. And so he knelt down there by one of the willow trees, by one of those little rivers, and committed his life to God and in God's service. And he also thought, I will not tell this right away to my family. I will first prove that I will change. And he did. And so about 2 weeks into his changed behavior, his elder sister asked him, "What happened to you? You have become so pleasant lately, and everything is just so nice around you. Tell me what has happened." And that was the time that my father felt he could tell that he had committed himself in God's service and that he wanted to really live for him the rest of his life and follow Christ in all his way of doings. And I've always been impressed by that story. Also, I was impressed that he felt that he needed to do something more than a better behavior. For his trip that he, of 15 kilometers every Saturday, his father let him have one roll of peppermints for on the road. And he decided that he would only take half the roll and save the other roll for the other week so he could save some money that way. This way, the roll of peppermints, let's say, was 10 cents, but if he only used 5 cents, he could put 5 cents away, for the offering. So he also did something really practical, what came by it. When he told that story, I was impressed, and on the other hand, I couldn't stand it, because I also felt that if you really commit yourself, that this takes some effort on your side, right? And he was not just talking; it's something he had done. But that's the story about my father. There are a few more stories that he told us, but that's the one that I really remember most of all, because that had to do with commitment. And he told the story that he came back from his...
Is it clear?
Huh?
Is it clear what it's...
Yeah, all that has to be figured out later.
Yeah.
That's why it's so nice that David does it, because when I did it myself, I would listen to the first 30 minutes, I would start all over, because that would never be clear enough. This is going to be figured out piece by piece and put by where it should go, and we leave out, but it's not that important.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. That's why I'm so happy Dave does it, because I could never get it done otherwise. So, but would you like to take a nap or rest?
No, I'm listening.
You are?
Yeah.
Would you like...
In the moment I ask a question, I'm saying, would you go take a
No. But, I feel so bad for you to have to listen to it, because you have heard it many times. It's not...
Go ahead,
No, what I would say, is it okay for you to hear it again?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's for the first time.
Oh, that's also good, if it is for the first time. That's also good. There was another story that my father told me. Oh, yes, when he had studied in Germany, when he was really felt called for the ministry, and his father did all the grade school teaching. Then my father went to The Hague to have some evening courses while he also studied to be an electrician. His father, when he was teaching the children, also was a shoe cobbler. Next to the drugstore, he could really make shoes, from leather, and he taught his children to do that too. My father could make our own shoes, which he didn't have time to do it, but he could repair them. Yeah. We had all the tools in our house. He repaired all our shoes. But when my father had studied in Germany, where he went to the Baptist Seminary in Hamburg and had finished his study, he needed a outfit, it's called jacket. I mean, it's kind of a formal outfit, striped, black striped pants, but the stripes are crayon, and the jacket is like you have your dinner jacket, something like it. It's very official. And so he had that measured on, made by a tailor, because he didn't really have those things too many in the stores. And so it looked really handsome on him. And so he looked at the mirror. They had a long-standing mirror, and he looked on all sides how he looked. And he liked what he was seeing. So it happened that his father came in, because after studies he had returned home. And his father gave him a tremendous lecture about vanity, all vanity, whatever, quoting from the Bible, ijdelheid der ijdelheden, het is alles ijdelheid. I think it's in Spreuken.
Yeah.
Proverbs or whatever. Well, anyhow, it's a part